I was back in LA, staying at a rented place in Malibu, when the phone rang. It was Norman, my brother-in-law. Oh shit, I thought. This ain't going to be good news. It wasn't. John, said Norman, it's your mother. She's not doing very well. You should come home and see her. Now? Yeah. I'm sorry, John, but the docs say it's bad. It had been 11 years since the argument about the newspaper retraction, and I hadn't seen much of my mum since, although we had made up over the phone. Of course, I now wish I'd spent more time with her, but my mum didn't exactly make it easy for me, talking about money all the time. I should just have given her more of it, I suppose. But I always thought that whatever I had was temporary. As soon as I got the call from Norman, I flew back to England with my assistant Tony. Then we drove up to Manor Hospital in Warsaw, where she was being treated. My mum was 87, and she'd been ill for a while. She was diabetic, had kidney trouble, and her ticker was on the blink. She knew her time was up. I'd never known her to go to church before, but all of a sudden she'd become very religious. She spent half the time I was there reciting prayers. She'd been raised a Catholic, so I suppose she thought she'd better catch up on her own work before going over the Great Divide. But she didn't seem frightened, and she wasn't suffering, or if she was, she didn't let me know. The first thing I said to her was, "Mum, are you in pain? You're not just putting on a brave face, are you?" "No, dear, I'm all right," she said. "You've always been such a worrier, ever since you were a little baby." I stayed for a few days. Mum sat up in bed for hours, talking to me with her arm hooked up to this whirring and bleeping dialysis machine. She seemed so well, I began to wonder what all the fuss was about. Then, on my last day there, she asked me to pull my chair closer to the bed, because she had something very important to ask me. I leaned in really close, not knowing what to expect. "John," she said, "is it true?" "Is what true, Mum?" "Are you really a millionaire?" "Oh, I had to stop myself. After all, my mum was dying, so I just said, "I don't really want to talk about it." "Oh, go on, John. Tell me, please." "Okay, then. Yeah, I am." She smiled, and her eyes twinkled like a schoolgirl's. I thought, well, at least I finally made her happy. Then she said, "But tell me, John, are you a multi-millionaire?" "Come on, Mum," I said. "Let's not talk about this." "But I want to." I sighed and said, "Okay then, yeah, I am." Her face broke into that huge grin again. Part of me was thinking, is this really that important to her? But at the same time, I knew this moment was the closest we'd been in years. So I just laughed. Then she laughed too. "What's it like?" she asked, with a giggle. "Could be worse, Mum," I said. "Could be worse." After that, we said our goodbyes, and I flew back to California with Tony. As soon as I landed, I had to go and do a gig with Black Sabbath at the Universal Amphitheatre. I can't remember much of it, because I couldn't concentrate. I just kept thinking about my mum, asking if I was a millionaire. After the gig, I went back to the house in Malibu. When I opened the door, the phone was ringing. It was Norman. "John," he said, "she's gone." I sobbed, man. I sobbed and sobbed and sobbed. It was the 8th of April 2001, just 48 hours since we'd been talking in the hospital. I don't know why. but I took it very hard. One thing I've learnt about myself over the years is that I'm no good at dealing with people dying. It's not that I'm afraid of it. I know that everyone's got to go eventually, but I can't help thinking that there are only one or two ways of being brought into this world, but there are so many fucked up ways of leaving it. Not that me mum went out in a bad way. Norman told me that she just went to sleep that night and never woke up. I couldn't face the funeral, not after what had gone down at my father's. Besides, I didn't want it to be a press event, which it would have been, with people asking me for a photograph outside the church. I just wanted me mum to go out in peace, without it being about me. I'd given her enough grief over the years, and I didn't want to add to it, so I didn't go. I still think it was the right decision, if only because my final memory of me mum is such a fond one. I can see her so clearly, lying in the hospital bed, smiling up at me, asking what it's like to be a multi-millionaire, and me answering, "It could be worse, Mum. It could be worse."